Alright, so I wanted to make this video because I haven't really found much on it, and I think it'd be very helpful for anyone who has these trucks. These old 7.3 or 6.9 IDIs, really just these old Fords. And what Ford did is, in the sending unit, and let me get the sending unit, on the, right here, these things sit, and if you got this truck, you really already know this, but any beginners out there, this sits in here, and a common thing that happens is this ends up breaking off just from the diesel eating away at it. And what'll happen is if the fuel gets to a certain level, and it'll start sucking in air. And so I fished mine out a month ago, and it was all broken apart and brittle, and replaced it with this one. And this one, after just only being in there a month, what happened is there's a little valve in here. It popped out. It probably actually got eaten away somehow. It's probably still in there though. And then the little screen here, which I got over here, also popped out. The screen I'm not too concerned about because this is supposed to sit flat, if not close to flat, on the fuel tank, the bottom of the fuel tank. So nothing huge should be getting through here anyway. The screen's really kind of a safety. I might put it back on, I might not. But the big thing was this, because what this does is cause the same problem that happens when this snaps off. So I didn't notice it until my fuel level got down to about right here. Until about right here, so you can see what problem that causes. It'll be sucking in air here, little fuel there, and maybe a little from the bottom, but that little bit of air is what made this thing difficult to start, for one thing. And then what had happened is, because it wasn't getting completely just air and just some air, it would idle, but the idle was a little weak. It even began to kind of, if you press the Schrader valve, it pulsates. So as you can see, what I did here is, and I looked at some forums, I asked some guys, what kind of plug can I use? Because you can't just use anything, can't use silicone, because gas and diesel will just eat away at it. So I was recommended either epoxy, or what this pretty much is epoxy, but JD Weld. So what I did is I took a nickel. I realized a nickel will fit perfectly into this hole. I put some JB Weld around the border of the nickel and stuck it in there. And then I put JB Weld on the inside to cover it. And you can just do the JB Weld and mix the hardener all inside here. Just mix it out like it's a bowl. And it's hard. It's not moving, and the diesel won't eat away at it. And so I'm going to pop this in here. Hopefully this helps someone. This at least takes care of that problem. I've replaced a lot of things, not a lot of things, but all the main things on this truck, all the way up to a new injection pump. And so this, oh, and I forgot to mention what was happening is this would idle fine, but as soon as you go to drive it, and even with me, this is how I knew this was the problem, because it would drive fine, meaning, you know, if the fuel's kind of sloshing around a little bit, it'll get its way above here, and it'll suck up the fuel, no problem. But at certain points, if I were to kick it, you know, punch it, or just driving normal, after a while, if the level got a little bit past this, it would suck in air. And because this whole system's pressurized, it'll suck it in quick. And it stalled out on me a couple times just test driving it up the road. So hopefully this helps someone. Get some JB Weld, super cheap. And like I said, just get you a nickel. No one uses chains these days anyway. Pop a nickel in there, cover it with some of that. I'm going to put it in later today, and hopefully this helps me out and I can use my truck again.